2.
Hello, Mustang family. This is Scott Kilgore, your superintendent, and we would like to welcome you back to Season 3, Episode 1 of our Mustangs on the Mic podcast. We really enjoy bringing you our story here in Ingleside ISD, and today we have a great group of educators who are part of our Mustang family, and that is our principals at each of our 4 campuses. Now, we do have a couple of new faces to our administrative team this year, and we're really excited to have them on board and part of our Mustang family. And then we have 2 veterans here in Ingleside ISD. And so what we really wanted to do today is just bring these 4 individuals into the room and kind of introduce them to you, our Mustang family. And that way you can kind of know what to expect as you interact with them and your children interact with them at the school on a daily basis. So what I'd like to do is if we can just kind of go around the room and if you can introduce yourself and what position you are here in the district, and maybe just include a little tidbit about maybe like how many years you've been here or how many years in education, but really let our audience members know a little bit about you. So Mr. D'Orazio, we'll go ahead and start with you.
My name is John D'Orazio. I'm the proud principal of Ingleside Primary. This is already my 5th year at Ingleside. It's gone fast so far. It's my 28th year in education. And as many of you know, I am from Philadelphia, and I wear that on my sleeve. And you will hear more about the Eagles than you cared to know. I started my education career in Denver in inner city schools for 21 years, and then moved to Texas and have enjoyed my time down here.
And, that's saying something, Mr. D'Orazio, being an Eagles fan here in South Texas. We've kept you around, so you're doing a good job with our kids at primary. And I know that all of our students at primary, they look forward every day when they get out of that car. Mr. D'Orazio is the first one giving them a high five. So really great campus culture, and we've got a great team down there at primary with Mr. D'Orazio, even though he's an Eagles fan. But we'll let that slide.
Someone's got to show you how to win down here.
Well, as a Cowboys follower, I would agree with you on that. All right, so we'll start off with one of our newest principals here in Ingleside ISD. Mr. Padilla, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
All right. Well, my name is Antonio Padilla. I'm originally from Brownsville, Texas. Spent the last 14 years in Los Fresnos CISD down in South Texas, about 2.5 hours away. And I've spent a whopping 1 month in Ingleside, and I love it so far. I really look forward to it. Everybody's been very welcoming. So I'm really excited to be part of the family.
We're really excited to have you here, Mr. Padilla. And in fact, for our listeners, and I know he's going to get mad that I mentioned this, but just this past Saturday, Mr. Padilla became Dr. Padilla. So we'd like to congratulate him as he not only furthered his education, but also his career. And that is a huge accomplishment. So Dr. Padilla, we are excited to have you here. And I know you don't like that term being used, but it is well earned. And so we're very proud of you and really excited about the future of Ingleside High School under your leadership.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. It's going to be a great year.
Yes, sir. And so our next newest member, she's actually got a little seniority over Mr. Padilla because she was hired in the springtime. And that is Mrs. Wagner. Mrs. Wagner, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Monica Wagner. I am the proud principal of GJM, and I'm very proud to be there. I have spent all of my career in South Texas. I've never left the coastal bend. 20 years in Rockport, and then spent about 3 years in one other district down the road down there. I've spent 13 years in the classroom teaching science, which I absolutely love as an elementary school teacher, and then 7 years bouncing back and forth between secondary and elementary and getting my experience, my feet wet in both areas.
We're really fortunate to have Mrs. Wagner here. She mentioned that other school down the road. We won't mention them because they're not a district of champions like we are, but we are really excited to have her on board at GJM. And I know that that campus is just going to continue to flourish and even be more successful under her leadership, and just that presence and knowledge that she brings from all of her other stops. So welcome, Mrs. Wagner. We are really excited to have you here in the district.
Thank you. Me too.
And then our last but not least, the man, the myth, the one that uses big words, Mr. Tyler Vernon at Leon Taylor Middle School. Mr. Vernon, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
I'll speak simply for Scott. My name is Tyler Vernon. I'm the principal of Leon Taylor Middle School. This is my 3rd year as principal, 5th year with the district. All have been at the middle school to this point. I was a a high school history teacher and a football coach prior. When I came into admin, I got an opportunity to come over here and serve a district that was family oriented and community minded, and knew what it wanted. And I've been happy to be here ever since. And that's what drew me here, and that's what's kept me here.
And as you can tell, I think that here amongst this group of people, we have a really good working relationship. We can joke around and play around with each other, but at the end of the day, every one of these four individuals is a true leader and is really puts kids first and this school first. And we're really excited about this school year. So I'm just going to kind of lead off and, kind of ask a question, and we can go around and answer. But I think we'd like to let our listeners know what inspired you to become a principal. So if someone wants to jump in and talk about what their journey was like and how you don't start out in education saying, I'm going to be a principal because I get all of the problems. You kind of grow into that role. So maybe you can kind of share a little bit about your journey and what inspired you.
We had, I'll go first, so we'll go the other way this time around. Mm-hmm. So I got into education because I wanted to be a U.S. history teacher and a strength coach. And I got that opportunity sort of right off the bat. And I was real happy with that, and I loved it. But as people who have been in that profession know, coaching can take time away from your family that you can't really account for. You don't get it back. So when we have my little boy, it broke my heart the first time my little boy was 2. My wife, I was saying the football season was starting, and she looked me dead in the face and said, single mom season is also starting. And so I knew at that point it was time to make a change. And so got my second master's degree, and then I knew I was going to try to venture into the administrative side of the house. Still plenty of hours, but they're at least, it's a little bit more predictable in that way. And so when I got a chance to make that change, I made that change. The assistant principal role was a way of sort of moving away from coaching. I realized really quickly, though, that I wanted to be a principal because the policy and practice and organization and systems that you put in place can affect everybody. And you can go from being a voice that sort of helps make sure the boat rows in the right direction to being the person to make sure that the ship is moving purposefully in the right direction. And that became real appealing to me really quickly. So that's why I'm in the position I'm in.
All right. Well, I got into education because I saw the contrast between how different people can influence your decisions as a child. I had great people pushing me. I had learning disabilities growing up, and people pushing me, you can do this, you can do that. I also had people telling me, why are you even thinking about college? Don't worry about that. Take an easier path. So that pushed me into education because I wanted to be that voice for kids. And then once I got into education, teaching, I had 3 amazing principals that I worked under that taught me kind of what Tyler's saying, how you can be the voice for a whole campus and how you can speak for people and make this job that is really teaching is a heroic job, and you can make it easier for them. And so my reason is to kind of pay it forward from those principles.
Great example. Mr. Padilla, you want to share some thoughts?
Both are tough follows, but growing up, athletics was a huge component to my schooling, and I would put academics kind of on the back burner. And then when I got to college and realized how important academics was, it became a very central focus of mine, and I really enjoyed that whole growing, getting better. And once I got into education, I was so pumped about coaching, and it ended up being the teaching that I really liked more than anything. And when you're in a classroom, you can influence 120, 130 kids that come through your class. And I quickly realized that I enjoyed that interaction with kids, and I wanted my scope of influence to be more. So I thought, how could I do that? And getting into administration was the best way to get to know more kids, get to influence more kids, and see them grow and help them grow. So I quickly, after about 3.5, 4 years of teaching, got into the leadership role, and haven't looked back since, because it's a great opportunity to interact with kids on a bigger scale as a campus leader.
Absolutely. Mr. D'Orazio, as our most experienced administrator here, what kind of inspired you? Because you had a role, if I remember correctly, where you were kind of an instructional coach for a period of time. So what kind of led you to that path of being a principal?
I think you just called me old.
You and I are
That's the first thing you did.
we're pretty close. We're pretty close.
Tyler, don't say anything.
I'm out.
My road is same reasons about the influence. I started out as a first grade teacher and was lucky enough to walk into several really, really great professional development classes and opportunities. And that led me to be an instructional coach. And I love being an instructional coach because at the school level, at the classroom level, you can really influence everything. But then it wasn't the same as being the instructional leader of a school like a principal is. So going from that instructional coach to the principal gave me that leadership where I set the direction and we could move forward and get our kids moving.
Sounds like you all kind of had the same message on what inspired you. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you have a bigger platform, right? Mm-hmm. You have a bigger platform to influence a larger number of kids, not only the kids but the staff, and to make sure the whole campus is growing and moving in the correct direction. Whereas as a classroom teacher, you have that sphere of influence over your kids, and now as the principal, it's over that whole school and community. So, and it does take a very special person to step into that role. And like I said earlier, we are very blessed to have the four tremendous leaders we have in this room with us because, each of them is very proven in their abilities to not only lead a campus, but to make sure that everyone is heard at that campus level and that, everybody gets on that same page and advances it forward. So thank y'all for that. We all have our own journeys, and it's really interesting when you kind of hear the same message. It's that platform and really being able to influence that larger group in the direction we need to go. So my next question is for our newest administrators that have joined us. So we have two new campus leaders this year. And I know I've welcomed y'all about 1 million times, and I'm always checking in with you every day. But we are very happy that y'all are part of our Mustang family, and we know that you're going to do great things, not only for your campus, but for our district. So I guess my first question is, what attracted each of you to this district? There's a lot of districts you could have chose from. You're both coming from successful districts, maybe not as good as Ingleside, but everybody's got to start somewhere, right? But what attracted you to our district and made you want to join our family?
I'll start with that one. There is word gets around when people don't want to leave a district, when people that I've worked with, education is a very small world. You run into people you've worked with all over the place. And when people say, I love working for Ingleside, I love this district, it's very attractive. And word also gets around about leadership styles. It starts from the top down, and the more teachers feel it in the classroom, the more it exudes everywhere. The kind of feeling, the family feeling, the proud to be here, I don't want to be anywhere else feeling.
Absolutely. Dr. Padilla?
Kind of along those same lines. You guys have a billboard off the highway that says, come join the family or come be a part of the family. And I'm coming from a district where that was a big component of it. So when we were moving to the area, Ingleside was at the top of our list because they have that family atmosphere. And then not just because they're in the room, but after meeting Mr. Kilgore and Kelsey and Ms. Ceballos, just their vision of what they wanted this district to be, what they wanted the high school to be, I felt fell in line with exactly what I think a school and a district should be. So it was a pretty easy decision for us.
So it sounds like for both of you, just that family atmosphere, right? And that is one thing we pride ourselves on. I mean, it is part of our motto, or it is our motto, come be part of the family. And so, that's something that we take pride in is, it's kind of one of our selling points for our district. So with that, what's your first impression been of our community and the staff? I mean, are we living up to that motto in your short time being with us?
It's been very enveloping. It's been very welcoming and enveloping. From Meet the Teacher Night, just parents coming up, welcoming me to the district, to working with all of you guys, and just it feels like a true team from the get-go. and when I say team, I should probably say family. It feels like, we can sit here and banter with each other, but we can also be very serious and collaborative with each other and listen to each other's ideas. That's made the biggest impression on me, the collaboration that we can do here.
Enveloping. You got that word from Tyler. I know it.
There's that banter again.
Why is that extra?
I know you have it. I'm keeping this to 3 syllables or less.
So I would say it's been great. I thought it was going to be a pretty tough transition because I'm not from the region. But in getting to the high school and getting to work and meeting all of you guys, just how welcoming everybody was, how warm everybody was, how everybody was willing to help and kind of just catch me up to speed. And the transition has not been as tough as I thought because there's been so many people willing to help, not just at the high school and teachers and you guys, but just the community and the parents. Everybody's been very warm to me being new here, and it's been a great experience so far.
Awesome. And so my last question, just for our newest principals, what are you most looking forward to in your first year at your campus? I mean, you're both, different levels, elementary, high school, but there's some things that you're probably really looking forward to achieving or some goals that you've set for your campus this year. Maybe you could share some of those with our listeners.
I'll go first. Okay, so first of all, I'm so happy to be back in elementary. I think it's my niche. I spent years away in secondary, and I'm so happy to be around just everything that elementary is, the family game nights, everything, even recess. I'm gonna love doing recess duty because it's part of being elementary. But as far as what I'm looking forward to this year on my campus, I think something hit me this week doing PD with my staff. I'm so excited about the engagement that they're willing to get into with the professional development we're doing, the excitement that they have for growth. That's been one thing I'm looking forward to very much, working with this group.
And I would say I'm really looking forward to Wednesday. I keep hearing how awesome our Ingleside kids are, how good our students are, and I'm really looking forward to being able to interact with them, engage with them. And I'm also looking forward the high school has a great reputation. Ingleside has a great reputation. And the teachers are so willing to, be open-minded, have an open mindset. I'm excited to see and work with all the great things they bring and the little bit that I bring and kind of meshing that together and working together to ensure students are successful is what I'm really looking forward to.
Awesome. Well, like I said earlier, we're really excited to have both of you join our family. There's no doubt in my mind that you're not only going to succeed in your role as the principal at your campus, but you're going to excel. And you're going to, we really are confident that both of you, no pressure, are going to take those campuses to new heights. And, we are, as a team, I think you have a great group around you at your campus level. And one thing that I hope that y'all have got from your short time here is we're all in this together. And we truly believe that. And, we're really excited to have you here. So welcome once again. So let's kind of talk about the new year, right? Every year, beginning of the year, we have goals that we set. We set goals for the district. You set goals for your campus. Your departments have goals. But maybe just share one thing about your campus this year that you kind of set as a specific goal to continue to, like we said earlier, I think Tyler said it, steer the ship in the right direction, right? Get everything and make it as successful as we can. So, Mr. Durazi, I'm going to put you on the spot first. What is a goal you set for IPS this year?
Our big goal this year, our general goal this year, is to get to the next level. The teachers are hearing that over and over. We've built the base. We are doing some really good things, but what are some of the things that we need to do to get to the next level? And a lot of that revolves around our use of data. We have some really good assessments going on right now that are giving us enough data to drive the instruction and get our kids to the next level.
Very good, very good. And that's, we always talk about data-driven decisions, right? And so really diving in and looking at that data and deciding how we're going to use that to become even more successful than we already are. I think that's a great thing that IPS is doing, and I know that your teachers have been working really hard this last week as y'all start looking at that. Tyler, you want to share what a goal is for the middle school?
Yeah, so we're kind of specific on this one. Middle school is like a transitionary phase in all of these kids' lives. Like they have this opportunity to see what they want to do. They don't really know how to get there, so you kind of have to outline like appropriate paths for them. But one of the things that the biggest goal that we're going to emphasize this year is personal connections to academic content. I think a lot of times, it sounds goofy, but I think a lot of times you're sitting in a math class or you're sitting in a science class or even a social studies class and you said, it's like, man, when am I ever going to have to use the Pythagorean theorem? And the problem is that plenty of people use it every single day. Plenty of people have to know constitutional history. Plenty of people, you need to know not to mix certain cleaning agents together in your house, or you might have a bad time. And so, like, we're gonna do our best. Y'all laugh at that. That sounds like somebody
science teacher next to you is the
I
one
got that.
laughing.
I got that. Somebody's laughing because of lessons learned. And so, but no, one of the things that I think we struggled with last year and the year before was that we had kids who were really, really good at like excelling at not regurgitating content necessarily, but like creatively answering content. But are they personally answering it? Are they creating those connections that can deepen understanding? So that's our goal.
Awesome. Dr. Padilla, you want to share one of the goals for the high school?
Yeah, definitely. Kind of building on what John was saying, student engagement and rigor is really something that we've been honing in with our teachers and using data to kind of drive that instruction. Ingleside High School teachers have been great for a long time, and they're going to continue to be great. So we just want to add a component to where when students are in there, they're actively engaged. Their student discourse, they're up, they're moving around, not just in your culinary class or your electives, but in every math, science, social studies. Kids are able to be engaged and excited about learning, and the only way we're going to do that is through data and collaborating with each other and talking to each other about best practices and utilizing PLCs to do that.
Absolutely. And Mrs. Wagner?
Well, mine kind of runs along the same lines as Dr. Padilla's. We are focusing this year on building structures for a healthy PLC. And when I say PLC, I mean the whole school, because we know what PLC is the professional learning community, but infusing all kinds of collaborative opportunities within staff meetings, within the content planning meetings, disaggregating data. But more than just those things that are pieces of PLC is really connecting with each other to learn from each other. I'm very encouraged this week already because these teachers are willing to learn from each other so much. But that is going to be our focus, giving them a structured time so that we can collaborate with each other more.
And I think that, we've all kind of, even though the goals may be different, it's all the same objective, right? It's collaborating and, building that team to make our students more successful. And, each of you have different things that you're going to be working on based on data and so forth at your campus, but really it's all about student success. I mean, that's what our whole priority is to make sure that we are giving our kids every opportunity to be successful. And the way we do that is by empowering our staff and letting our staff collaborate and coming up with those best practices and that structure. So really some great things that you've set as goals for your campus. So what do you, as you look at your campus, and we'll let the newer principals answer last on this one so they can kind of hear what the other administrators are saying. But what is something about your campus that you're most proud of? And I know for the newer principals, it might be completely different because they're just starting that journey of this school year with their students and their staff. But, Tyler, we'll go ahead and start with you. What's something that you're most proud of about LTMS?
I got two things that I lean into, but the one that I think is the most obvious, right, is culture. The moment, and I mean the moment the kids get back, the way that they interact with one another, the expectations of how they interact with one another, how the staff interacts with them, how the staff interacts with each other. You walk around the building, you walk around the middle school building, and kids are happy. They're happy to be there. They're excited to be there. We had like a 96% attendance rate last year, pretty close to it. It's an indication that kids want to be there. And so that's what I'm the most proud of, is the culture that we have now of we are here, we do excellent things when we are here, and we are proud of that.
And I think that's a great point you made. And, I would agree with that about the middle school. It's not typical that you see middle school kids want to be in school, but you go to that campus and, there's high-fiving, there is some really great things. And it's at all of our campuses in the district, but, you kind of pointed that out about the middle school, and your attendance rate backs that up. I think that is a very true statement about something, just one of the many things to be proud of. John, over at IPS, what is something maybe you're most proud of about your campus?
I really just want to say ditto. Exactly what Tyler was saying is the proudest part of IPS is when we have any stranger walks into the building. One of the first things they'll say to me is, "This just feels good." It's nothing they can put their finger on because it's our culture. It's what we are. And that completely goes to the adults in the building. The adults in the building have a heart that is amazing. No matter what else is going on in their personal lives, how much struggle they're having in the classroom, behaviors are a struggle, kids are treated right. Adults are treated right. There's great collaboration there. And it's a great place to walk into every day.
I would agree with that. Just having a kid there myself the last several years, who's now going to be moving into GJM. The culture there has been really good. And, seeing the staff and the administrators high-fiving kids as they get out of the car each morning, it really sets that tone, and that tone for the day for those kids. And so I would agree with that. So I'm going to kind of phrase it a little different for our new administrators. I did that on purpose because it's kind of hard because you haven't started with kids yet, right? But let's say it's the end of the school year. What would you consider it successful as a school year, as your thing you're most proud of? If everything goes the way that you feel like it's going to go and you put in all that work and that effort, what would you be looking for to say, hey, that's something we're most proud of? And I'll start with you, Mr. Padilla.
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually going to answer your other question because in being there that short amount of time, the one thing that I've noticed and the one thing that I'm very proud of is how much the teachers care, not only about the students, because they deeply care about the students. I mean, we had senior sunrise at 6:30 a.m. this morning, and there was about 10 teachers out there supporting our seniors. How much they care about the students and how much they care about Ingleside and it being, an apex, a predominant place for kids to go to school and get a good education. They want to be good. They want to be great. And you can see it in all of the teachers and when you talk to them. So in this short amount of time, that is something that is very evident to me, that the teachers really do care about this area, about our district, and care about our kids. Now, at the end of the year, what I would chalk up as us being successful was making sure that we got kids that graduate, have a great experience throughout the year and able to give them all the things that a full year entails, and then are ready to go out and either go to post-secondary education or ready to go to the workforce and provide for our community and add to our community. I would call that being a successful year.
Absolutely, and we know that that's going to happen. I mean, it is a successful campus, and I think you hit the nail on the head. Is our teachers truly care about the kids, and that was very evident. Mrs. Wagner, what would you like to add?
Well, I'll start going backwards, kind of like Padilla did. I can tell you walking in, like Mr. D'Orazio was saying, when you walk in, I felt it too. Just like a stranger walking into the building, you feel the culture here. So what I'm proud of right now already is that I feel love from this community. And it exudes, they share it with the teachers, their students. We've had donations already for morning coffees from different coffee shops and things like that. I'm proud to be part of a place like that really cares about taking care of the schools and the kids that are inside of it. I think at the end of the year, we all know that teaching is a very difficult job, and at the end of the year, teachers really do need a summer. It is a very emotionally invested job. And so we know that by the time summer comes around, teachers are ready for that. But I hope that teachers are not really ready to leave for summer, because we have built what we are trying to build this year with our collaboration, with our culture, with our leaning on each other and lifting each other up.
Absolutely. No, I think all of you kind of hit the nail on the head as far as, success it starts with our students and it starts with our staff and really getting everybody in the building for the same reason and moving that forward in the direction that we want to go. So, as we kind of wrap up today's podcast, there's first week of school. Wednesday we start school with students. We've had teachers back for a little over a week now. What is a message that you would like to share with your students at your campus as we start the school year? And we will start with you, Mr. Durazio.
My message, and I say this a lot, is learn from every mistake you make. It's okay to make mistakes, make a million mistakes, but learn from every one of them. Because if you do that, you're going to grow.
Great teaching point. That's how we grow, is we learn from our mistakes. Tyler?
Come ready, come prepared. We get after it on day one. That's all I'll say about it. We get after it day one. So come ready, come prepared, and let's go to work.
There's a competitive nature there, isn't there?
That's right. I'm ready for. I was ready for launch last week. I'm ready to go.
Mrs. Wagner, what would be something you would like to share with your students?
Well, we have a theme that we have settled on for this year, and I think it goes from students all the way through our school. And our theme is, don't laugh at me because I am a science teacher, metamorphosis. We are embracing change because we're never done changing. And we are seeing it for what it is. It is an opportunity to make ourselves something different, something better, something growing. As soon as we don't change, we're done. So I want the kids to know that everything is a growth. Everything, every bit of progress they make is something they should be proud of.
It's a great analogy. Science word. I learned that was not on my bingo card.
I'm glad that somebody else is taking over the vocabulary, man.
I'll help you out, Tyler.
Come on. Or you and me just start talking like this and let everyone else figure out what
Y'all are
we're
going to
So
elevate
right,
me
so
up.
right.
That's what you're going to
You
do.
have to stop sitting next to each other.
I'm gonna start saying quadrennial and quintessent and see what happens.
Dr. Padilla, what's something you'd like to share with your students?
Well, Tyler kind of stole mine, but it was going to be come ready to go. You'll hear it a lot through Mr. Kilgore and the district. Is we're going to, kids, we're going to hold them accountable, and we expect, parents and staff to hold our teachers accountable, hold me accountable. But when you come to the high school, you're going to come to work, and we're going to make sure that you do that. And we build young adults. It's going to be a lot of fun, but we're going to expect some hard work out of you, and we'll push you to do it.
Well, I would like to just say that we have 4 tremendous leaders for our campuses here in Ingleside ISD. These are some of the most fun individuals I've ever worked with in education, but also some of the most professional. You each have a great plan for your campus and have that vision, and there is no doubt that each one of you is going to help push your campus to new success, and we're really excited to see the work that you and your staff are going to put in this year. And I'd just like to say thank you. And then as we wrap up today, we'd just like to introduce, all of our principals and really welcome our 2 new principals to the district. And I know that they're going to do just phenomenal things with our students. So thank y'all for joining us today. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.